Today is October 6th, I believe. 7th of October. I'm working on the old combine. I found this chain has to be rebuilt. This is one that goes on the inside. That's the chain that runs under the cylinder. And then I have a small hole in the bottom of my auger tube. This patch from about here across and down needs to be replaced because it's all rusted through because a bird sat in there, made a nest in there, and then it got moisture in there, and then it rusted. And then there's the old drive belt. That drive belt, well, it's shot, so I made a new one out of baler belt. The only downside is I don't have enough splicing material, the splices, to reattach to make it so I can finish that. So it's kind of a foobar thing. So it kind of looks the same, yes. My work managed to get all that crud that you see on the ground out of the cylinder, or out of behind on the sieves. The sieves were very, there was that big chunk right up there. Still is a little bit up there, but it's clean now compared to what it was. There is 2 bolts on this top sieve, and this top sieve comes out, and then, or sieve, or what they call it in the manual is the chafer, or the chafer. I don't know. Schaffer, maybe? I don't remember. But that comes out, and it moves. I can move this one, and then with the bottom one, you pull 2 more bolts, and the bottom one comes out. And then, as you can see, the bottom one moves too. I got them all cleaned up and working again, so I'm happy. Then I decided to pull this bottom pan off because if anybody who's ever operated or worked with one of these pull type combines like this without a head on it, know that the butt end is heavy. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can see all the brazing right there. I rebuilt a lip. This lip right here was all rusted out. It was all rusted and gone. So I fixed that. And then I noticed, hey, there's a big hole back underneath here. So I took a piece of steel and I brazed it to fit that. As well as underneath there is some JB welding I did on some small pinholes. I did this before. This is I took the shield and I welded it, made it, because it was only holding by one little piece. And then yesterday as well, I took this off because as you can see under there, this whole plate was rusted through right here. So I brazed a patch on there. So then doing that, I figured, well, I better check other stuff. Well, I pulled the whole elevator off because I wanted to make sure that, and I rebuilt this entire lip right here. I don't know if it'll focus on it, but there's an entire lip right here that was all rusted out. It was a big hole, and I rebuilt that. Cut steel and laid it in there and brazed it in there and got it set. Then there was a small hole in here that I had to patch from the inside here. So that I did that one. But to get this one off, I had to take this one off, the clean grain off first. So the clean grain was actually off in the shop first. It had, as you can see, a hole, or a couple holes. Patch those. And then, as well, this one, it must have been a common thing with them John Deeres. Because, oh crap, you can see it. This here is all brazed in. There's about 5 layers of steel in there. I had to rebuild that entire lip. It was all rusted out. So I rebuilt it, layered it in there with some steel, brazed it in, and then I cut around it with a torch. I did that. What else have I done? Oh, we took the fuel tank off, completely rinsed it, cleaned my sediment bowl. Actually went to my local John Deere, and they had the seals that go into this. actually the seals that go into this were for the 7000 series John Deere tractors that have injector for the injectors. They're the seals for the injectors, and then on top, I got that cleaned up there too, the pump, and I had to put seals. See, there's one of the little rubber seals. That one has to be reconnected. It has to be connected to the carburetor, but the carburetor still is not done. I just ordered the parts today. They're coming from Washington, so they'll be a couple days because it's Friday today, so it won't be till, they probably won't be here till Tuesday, I wouldn't think. So, let's see, what else have I done? Put that up on there. I gotta still put the chains in the elevators. I still gotta rebuild the elevators. I had a small hole along right here that went into this elevator, and I patched that up with some JB weld. What else did I do? For right now, that's kind of about it. I'm waiting. Like I said, I'm waiting for the carburetor parts to come so I can get the carburetor rebuilt. I'm also wondering if I can go to my John Deere or somewhere and get the rasp bars for this combine, because that rasp bar that's what it's supposed to look like, and that's what it is. It's shot. I need to put a new rasp bar in there. The nice thing is my cylinder, my adjustment between my cylinder and the screen adjusts. It all adjusts. So I got that broke free. I know that chain in the shop goes to this right here, goes on this sprocket, and it runs right up to the top of there, way to the inside of the combine. I got to rebuild the chain before I put it in, because I don't want to put it in. Well, I want to rebuild it. That way I don't put a cruddy chain in there and end up having the chain fall or break, and then have to eat the chain up. And then I'd have to rebuild the chain and get it out of the machine. So, and then I got a couple pinholes. I gotta take this cover off yet and do some work on it, because there's, like I said, there's a pinhole there. There's some hole. Well, it's not a pinhole, but it's pretty good. There's a pretty good sized hole. I'm gonna lay a piece of steel in that. That must have got left open. Like I said, I worked on the belt. What else did I get done? That's kind of it for right now. I pulled it to the main farm here so I can work on it really easy. Yeah, adjusted my belts. They kind of look like crap right now. They're kind of bad. This belt here is really bad. It's kind of a shelled piece of junk. But only thing it runs is the spreaders. And if I'm going to use it on straw, which is what I intend on running it on, I don't believe it's going to hurt too much, because I really don't spread my straw. I like to bale it. So, other than that, that's kind of it. I also made a plug for see the screw in there. There's a black plug, big piece of cork, or not really cork, but rubber, that fit perfectly in there for a plug. And then I drilled a hole in it and stuck a screw in there so I could get it in and out. Maybe that won't work, I don't know. I figured it ain't gonna hurt nothing to try. And then I have a little issue where if you can see this belt, these pulleys aren't lined up to each other. They're off a bit. I don't know. I think this one is out. I think that one has to go in, but I'm not for certain. Either that or this one's got to come out. I don't know for certain what's going on here, but I got to figure it out. I might have to just take and pull the rim off this and put a tensioner on here and pull that out, you know. So, but other than that, progress is coming. As soon as I get the carburetor kit, then I will get a video up of the engine running. It still turns over good, so as of that, yeah, like you see, I coupled my engine belts. This is the unloading belt. It is bad. That belt is shelled. That's the only bad belt up there, really. It's got some bad belts, some good belts. I don't know. And then this goofy belt. This is a double lipped belt because it runs on the back side of this pulley. So it's kind of a goofy machine. But that's kind of it for right now. So there we go. Update on the 65.